the win that way. First match of the day, though, between Kin and Flurry is going to be the Demon Hunter up against the Warrior. Kin on the Warrior is running the non-pirate variant that we are seeing more and more creep up, especially in APAC, I feel. And I do think that puts him in a decent spot. This matchup, I think I'm starting to hover around the 50-50 mark, because even though there isn't this crazy amount of armor gain that you can secure with the Risky Skipper and Armor Smith, you still have the ability to survive for a while and then go on the counter-aggressive with the Warrior, which is the real key to the match.
It's true. I do believe that Warrior should be on the defensive at the beginning, and when they hit that turning point, they turn the corner, and suddenly their armor is a big consideration for Demon Hunter to get through. Then the Warrior has the time to start swinging face with the wrench calibers. But we saw yesterday from Tiz a very clean example of how to play the matchup from the Demon Hunter side, which is just curving out with the Lapidaries, a well-timed mana burn, also removing options from the Bomb Warrior. So we'll see how Kin approaches this also.
Oh yeah, that's true. Man, that was smart. I love that game. I want to see Tiz play some more Hearthstone. But I will also very happily watch Flurry and Kin play as well. Very decent start, I think, here for Kin. Just having Corsair, Cash, Horde, Pillager, and Blastmaster Boom. Like I was talking about, you want to be making sure you always have the cards available to go for the counter-aggro game plan, which is what Kin absolutely has here. Now he just needs the tools to survive so that he can unlock Blastmaster Boom and not die on the turn he plays it.
Yeah, and that's why it's a bit interesting to me that he actually threw away the Sword board, which I figure is just one of the easiest ways to get rid of these small annoying minions in the beginning, the Wand Maker, etc. But maybe Kin values the card draw and the higher value removal for the more threatening targets such as Lapidary and Glavebound Adept later on. He has the one of Coerce, and the Shield Slams are very important for that.
Lightning fast game already, and Flurry in a flurry of plays finds some pretty nice cards here. If there's no weapon played, he just has Jailer, Hero Power, Mana Feeder. If there is a weapon played, he of course has the absolutely insane Acidic Swampus here.
Yeah, he is running 2 of those in his list. Does not have Magtheridon nor the Flex Pod where people are putting Consume Magic in to make room for the double oozes, and it's going to come in huge for this matchup.
Let's, spend all our mana. That sounds like a good plan to me. Go nice and aggressive here. Plenty of damage going through to the face. And when this happens, this is where things get really tough for the Warrior, because you have enough armor gain, I think, to exhaust all the damage from hand effects, or at least most of them. When you're tanking 5, 6, 7 damage a turn every turn in the early game, you do not win those games.
Yep, and Kin does not have Bladestorm or Brawl in hand to even build up to that as a removal option. So he's going for the mulligan that he kept, which is the Corsair Cash into Horde Pillager to immediately re-equip your weapon. And he has Blastmaster Boom, which is, you know, with the hand he was given, pretty much the only game plan he has access to. But I got the feeling it's not going to be enough.
Yeah, and I don't want to fault Kin too heavily. I think that this hand from Flurry is well above average in terms of the number of aggressive early minions he found, especially when you factor in the Demon Companion, which is the premium 1-cost spell to generate in this situation off of Wand Maker. It's just everything coming together.
And for Flurry, I am absolutely on board with the Kayn play. Hero Power fitted in. Next turn, Hero Power Glavebound Adept. I was even wondering if the Wand Thief goes face as well. But this way he has a chance of protecting the Kayn.
I think that was a pretty easy all-face play there. I don't think you protect enough damage in order to make the missed damage face worth it. But like you say, if they don't have the Brawl or whatever removal, you maybe eke out a tiny bit more damage with this line.
Been forced to take pretty inefficient turn. Can't even fit in the armor up just to try and stay alive. His game plan is pretty simple. Stay alive till he can go for the boom.
Which, to be fair, is not impossible. Galakrond is 5 armor, we shouldn't forget that. It becomes a lot harder when you're facing down Marrow Slicer as well on the other side of the board. In addition to the Glavebound Adept, it's looking less and less likely that he'll get there.
Yeah, even if it were just Glavebound Adept this turn, it still looked scary. Kin did have an answer with Coerce to at least get rid of that minion, but he has absolutely 0 ways to defend against this Marrow Slicer at the moment. I don't even know what his best top deck is.
It kills one of them with the Whirlwind?
Okay.
And then he dies.
Yep. I mean, he can survive from his perspective, but
Yeah.
we can see the glaive bound in hand. Kin cannot get above 8 armor this turn, and that will be the game.
It will. And the funniest thing of all here, Gia, is that off of the Wand Maker there, Philosophy would actually low-key have been the nuts this game in order to copy the Imps and go for an even more aggro game plan with the Spirit Jailers.
Sure, and lead up into Militia on curve with your extra soul fragments in the deck.
Insane.
Imagine not getting Philosophy in 8.
Imagine. Couldn't be Flurry. But either way, 1-0 up with just the easiest game you could hope for off of the Demon Hunter. It really does not get any better than that. Like I was saying, Kin clearly had a game plan of expecting a much slower hand, which on average, yes, you will face a much slower hand than that. Their hand is probably going to be full of at least a little bit of removal, a little bit of the mid-game power cards, but he just found every single threat to throw down early on. It was the dream hand from Flurry.
That's right. Bomb Warrior in those situations really just does not have the time to go for their counter-aggressive. And the Ooze was just the cherry on top for Flurry. I would venture a guess that even if Flurry didn't have Ooze, it was still going to be a W for Flurry because Kin's armor gain and removal just could not keep up. But this is the benefit of running that Ooze in a lineup that I think is at least soft targeting Bomb Warrior. And now Flurry has to get the win with his own Warrior and Secret Rogue.
He does indeed. And we will find out if he can do exactly that after this short break. We'll be back very soon. blink and you will have missed the first win for Flurry up against kin there, because it was as easy as they come for Demon Hunter. The cards just got themselves in the right order for him. But now, jumping into the rest of the series is when things get a little bit more difficult. I think the Demon Hunter, after you've banned away Druid, was fairly likely to get a win. The other archetypes, apologies, is I think where things get a little bit more difficult for both of our players in this mirrored matchup.
Yeah, I do think that the warriors on either sides are the classes that are being preyed upon. It remains to be seen whether the Secret Rogue actually has a good or a bad matchup against that. That's why I've been advocating for the Possessy style lineup, where you just go all in with the Weapon Rogue and give yourselves a better shot against Bomb Warrior, at the expense of some of the other matchups. But I will say, like you mentioned, that Secret Rogue is one of the decks where you can get a huge edge if you have more experience on it. There are ways to play it so that you get more value eked out of every single turn, and I can definitely still see it taking a win against Bomb Warrior.
I agree. And I think if I think back to some of Kin's games, I do remember being perplexed, but eventually very impressed by his rogue gameplay. I remember in particular a game where he had like Questing and Edwin in hand and a bunch of 0-mana cards. Didn't play either of them and just went super wide with all the lackeys on board instead with Evil Miscreant. I believe it was against Weapon Rogue or Aggro Hunter. One of the very aggro decks he was playing against, and it worked out beautifully for him. He clearly has a very deep understanding with the deck, which is something that I love to see from Kin. We always talk about, Blitzchung being an aggro player, Kin being a control player, but I think while it's fun to sell the story of that from these players, I do love that they are still making sure they are strong with every kind of deck in the current metagame.
For sure. And it will be Flurry piloting the Rogue this time. And I like how you brought up going wide on board, even though it's counterintuitive against certain hands from Rogue, can be the way to win against the more aggressive matchups. But the tough thing about facing against Warrior is that they do run answers for tall but narrow boards in the form of Force and Bladestorm, or the wide boards in the form of Brawl. So it's really tricky to figure out what your primary game plan should be. I do, however, like just Hanar on 2. It's tough to answer this early on, even though Flurry doesn't have a secret in hand. He's bluffing it.
Yeah, and Kin here, I think correctly not going with Coin Bladestorm there. Even if they have a secret in hand, there's nothing that you're that afraid of, I think. If you have to go Bladestorm on turn 3, or more likely, just ignore it and set up for Wrench Caliber and do your own game plan.
An interesting turn for Flurry, where you could technically set up the questing, but if it's questing, Shadow Step Hanar, replay it, that is premium Bladestorm bait. I don't think you do that, but is there a way to maybe commit a backstab instead? Maybe you don't replay the Hanar? I'm not sure.
Well, I mean, technically, you could backstab the Hanar, go questing, backstab the Hanar, then step it and play it again. You have a 1/4 and a 5/5. That's hard to deal with, to be fair.
I like that. I think that makes the most sense out of everything, because the other play of just questing and step is weak to Coin Wrench Caliber.
Oh.
But it is the play that Flurry goes for. Obviously, there are some upsides to holding on to backstab if he needs like combo activator, etc., etc. But I did think that with the shape of his hand, he needed to go a bit more aggressive than that.
Oh, it's so hard to say, isn't it? Because this way, it's way less all in, and you obviously have very low chance of sticking in questing with this line. But it does mean that you keep a 0-mana Hanar in hand, which, obviously when comboed with a secret is just a full turn of value, straight up. Very possibly 2 full turns of value if you get the disruption secrets.
Yeah, Rogue definitely has the tougher decisions to make in this matchup, I think. We'll see the implications of Flurries so far, because for Kin, the pressure never stops. He wants to get the 4-2 on board instead of the 2-3 and upgrade. I think that makes sense.
Oh no! He got the 2 cards that I always get at the same time!
Venture Go, not the worst in the world, but the Chromatic Egg is a big yikes, I will agree.
I guess, yeah. A 7/6 does punch very hard. That is kind of annoying to deal with. Whirlwind Bladestorm does 100% clear up the board.
Does?
It's obviously a massive committal of removal.
We could see just perhaps Whirlwind Sword and Board trade.
Mm. Could even
You
get the
have to tank the
Quartermaster.
7, but you can get the Evo Quartermaster down.
I like that. I like that. Against Secret Rogue, I'm happy to tank a little bit of damage. They have very limited access to burn.
Yeah, I think that Kin is fine missing swings to face as long as he has full swings for Dr. Boom on 7, and he absolutely will. Going about it this way instead means that he fits in the hero power, which also makes sense to me because he didn't necessarily have a turn 6 locked up if it was Evo Quartermaster this turn.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. You do want to spend your mana every turn if possible.
The double Titanic actually.
Yikes.
All Monsanto.
Yeah, literally 1 out of 7 to be very unlucky. Evocation, though, is insane. Not only is it just an individually powerful card, can we finally see Gia? I think this is the first time it's been offered in APAC. Evocation into Secret Passage. You get to keep all the mage spells afterwards. It's disgusting.
I think it's been offered but turned down by Chansu before. Like, he didn't go for the combo. But yes, I would love to see that. And it honestly feels like Flurry needs something of that magnitude to get back in this game because Kin swings are not stopping Blastmaster Boom online for full charges next turn.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, if Kin's Boom doesn't win the game or is somehow mitigated, say all the bombs go into lackeys or something like that, it's not over. His hand is very dry after that. He could just run out of removal. I think this is still open, but you're right. Flurry definitely wants some powerful cards to come through.
But his secret is definitely at the top of the list because he finally got some payoff off of the Hanar. He consciously chose to just make his questing small to put this back in hand. I'm on board for Freezing Trap because he can isolate the Stelina.
Do you want to isolate Stelina? You get it back to their hand. They can, like, get rid of your evocation then, right?
But it won't necessarily... Okay. Yeah, it will be an outcast position, right? If they just...
Well, we'll see. We'll see.
I mean, if that's Kin's whole turn and he's not dealing with the board, I think I'm still kind of happy. I don't know.
That's fair. That's fair. Plagiarize, fill out your mana. Yeah. Love it.
Knight? Okay.
Yeah.
It's not eye for eye.
Oh my god. Oh, that'd be so funny if it happens.
He could have actually just cleared the whole board instead, but it does look like he's just trying to get value off of this Freezing Trap. Oh, I've never seen Stelina played in GM. Is it happening?
Oh, I think he was just looking at it. I don't think you play it here over Boom. Okay.
Yeah. Gotta be Boom here. But you're right about your point of what if all of these small tokens muck up the bomb trades, and they're very likely to eat up a lot of damage, but Kin has a solid grip.
He does for now. War Golem given to Flurry here is just a 7 mana 7/7, but I think the main thing is like Titanic Lackey, you can take a value trade. Whoa! Evocation Secret Passage is available now.
Let's go, Flurry, let's do it. Gotta make some room.
Is he doing it?
So this, if you don't go snipe first, then you can like use a couple spells and then go for the Secret Passage. He obviously still needs an answer for the Boom. There's a Polymorph.
Please do it. I want to see the interaction, please.
For sure you do it, right?
Yes.
What else is he spending his mana on?
I asked this last time when it wasn't done, and Sottle, I mean, I'm putting him on blast here, he confirmed, because I was 99% sure it does happen. If you play Secret Passage here, when your hand is returned, you keep all the mage spells. They're no longer shadow illusion versions that disappear at the end of the turn.
The one thing to think about is, would you rather have these spells as your hand next turn? Because obviously giving up Secret Passage this way means that you're not playing the 4 cards that you get off of it right now. Maybe 1 or 2 if you're lucky. Oh, but that's a pretty good outcome.
Yep, that's
One
pretty
thing
good.
playable off Secret Passage, then he gets all the mage stuff for next turn. Good deal.
Do you know what this is, Gia? This is the power of being a streamer. Flurry always sees the cool lines. He can just imagine in his head Twitch chat, I mean, probably in Korean, screaming at him, spamming that character that I think means laughing in Korean that I always see in their Twitch chats. Yeah. I have no idea what it means, but whatever. And he made the play. This is insane. Look at all this value he's generated for 1 mana.
It is value, but how many of these are actually good? The flame wards don't strike me as being all that good because these bombs look like they're about to blow up and trade with Flurry's minions instead.
Oh, yeah, the
Conjure's
secrets are
Calling
terrible.
could be huge, though.
The secrets suck. All the spells in his hand suck, make no mistake, but it's still cool.
Ancient Mysteries is not... It's active, it draws him a rogue
Oh, that's
secret.
true. Yeah, good point. Good point.
And the Conj has potential, but the Flame Wards, I'm not feeling it. Oh, what does Kin do? Are we playing a 2-mana Boombot? I think that's the line. I just want to somehow maximize the bomb damage to face. I don't think there's a good order you can do this to do that, though.
I mean, is it just attack everything face, even? Like, do you want to get the 1 damage from your actual bombs? Yeah.
Okay, trade off
Cleaned up
small
what you can.
lines. Yeah, okay. I think this is optimal as well.
My hand is too full.
Ooh!
Oh!
Hello?
Didn't even know if that was intentional, but it was still nutty.
That is all the is in chat for sure. 2 bombs blown. Tiny damage. Flurry is feeling it.
So he can't get any crazy plays with Conjurer's Calling just yet, and he can't play Blastmaster Boom anymore.
Not quite. Unless you're a Raven-style gamer. Conj the 1/1. I mean the 1-cost minion.
Deep Freeze? Is that better than Frostbolt?
I think it is better for the long-term game plan, but if you take Deep Freeze, the rest of this turn becomes kind of ugly.
Oh man, just like Frostbolt face and then play the Neophyte? Yeah, that's just a strong turn.
It's decent. I feel like Deep Freeze is a winning play though, because you can still just spend your mana this turn with the Cult Neophyte and Ancient Mysteries even to get a Rogue Secret. Yeah. Oh, but he's not playing the Frostbolt at all, despite taking it. Okay.
Oh man, 2 mana is a lot of mana to spend on a weapon here.
The slow line gets punished by bomb draws, but it's possible that Kin goes for a longer turn game plan. It's tough to say. I mean, Kin's also just not at the safest health total.
Nutty bomb play, he just needed it to not hit 1 on anything and he was fine to clear the board with Bladestorm there. The damage keeps coming face. Kobold Lackey can come down for the extra tiny bit of damage needed if a bomb is drawn.
6 bombs in the deck right now for Flurry.
No!
5 bombs in the deck. No healing.
He is just dead as it currently stands. Is there anything he can do? Yeah. You just pray they don't have it. It's the correct line.
Yeah. I think it's fair. Getting the boom developed this turn means you have a possible conj target if you do live in that world where you survive, but Kin has the Lackey, and that will be all tied up.
Nicely done. I'm sad we didn't get to see the path for Evocation into Secret Passage, because I'm very glad that Flurry did find the line, even fitting in the polymorph in the meanwhile. Like, he wasn't just blinded by the hype of a cool play, he actually slowed down and made the correct lines along the way. It was I think, a good game for the most part. At the end, they're going for the dagger instead of playing out Frostbolt or Flame Ward or even like Eviscerate, just some way to spend his mana a bit more proactively. I think with a hand that big, you don't want to press hero power at all, if possible. But in the end, it was just enough damage to close out the game anyway, in pretty much every instance.
So many tough lines to spot for Flurry at the end there, and that's just what happens when you have Evocation in your deck, whether you're a mage or a rogue. But I will say, even though the score is 1-1 here, I'm definitely liking Kin's chances more, because I feel that the Bomb Warrior was the deck that Flurry was trying to bully a bit.
Right, because he's Demon Hunter is out of the way, but he still has the warrior of his own and the rogue. Yeah, I think it's close. I don't think it's quite so hard of a target on the bomb warrior, in my opinion, just because I believe Demon Hunter is like kind of close matchup. It's already won anyway, the rogue and the bomb warrior. But just being in this situation, it's going to be, I think, a good spot for Kin. Overall, I agree.
Worth mentioning that I think Kin also has a soft target because his Demon Hunter also has an ooze in there. It's not the 2-of that Flurry is running, but it could also be super impactful in that matchup. Kin also has Lore Keeper Polkelt in his Demon Hunter instead of Magtheridon.
Yeah, I think that probably helps him in the matchup a little bit, even if, something I always have to manually remind myself, it's a 4-5 on 5. How does that help the matchup first? And the answer is against Bomb Warrior. Usually, it's pretty good, actually, just being able to slam that down. It's another thing that they have to find an answer to, or they're going to chunk a lot of damage.
But the thing that Kin is not running is Consume Magic, which we've seen teched here and there in Demon Hunters. And I'm staring at this Edwin on coin. If there's a 1-drop off the top, things could get very spicy. It's a 1-drop?
So what was your plan, sorry?
I don't know. Then again, it's not Shadow Step in hand, but the 1-drop is technically a backstab target. And you could get an even bigger Edwin if you just committed turn 1. It's super all-in, though. And granted, this is still a decent-sized Edwin.
Oh, do you wait 1 turn, though? This is an 8-8 if you coin it out now. But you're potentially looking at, what, a 12-12 if you wait 1 turn?
I think this is a super justifiable wait plan because you can set up a secret. If Kin's play the next turn is minion, then you even get a target for Jack Center to hit. And the difference on the health on Edwin, I think, matters a lot against Demon Hunter. The breakpoints are there for Blade Dance, for the Marrow Slicer Twin Slices.
I love it. I really think you're waiting here. Even the dagger, because of the way it lines up against Mana Feeder Panthara as the kind of expected turn 3 play, he's got backstab hit with obviously just coin Blackjack Stunner just to play it out. Oh, it's so perfect.
Oh boy.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Now we're going. No messing
even
around.
Gets Sparrow Cat. Doesn't need to waste
better.
the stunner here either. That's insane. Only question is, which secret do you play?
And then he gets like the best reborn minion as well. Hello.
Probably Dirty Trick.
Probably Dirty Tricks. Yeah, no coin in hand.
Uh-oh. And Kin has been the victim of giant Edwins twice this weekend, this early on. Granted, he did win against one. Or he did win with one, I think. Against the perfect Druid opener.
Let's start breaking down some discrete numbers. How does this actually work for him now? If he goes for next turn Lapidary, that's not enough to clear. If he goes Eldraki Warblades into double Twin Slice, that's not a clear. It's at least 2 more turns before he can clear this up.
And that's why I don't think he will be clearing it up. Maybe it's just a face race. I don't think he wins it, but maybe the Eldraki in hand gives him a little bit more staying power. That's in the world where Flurry doesn't even develop anything else, though, but the pressure does not stop.
Yeah, I think the one thing going for Kin here is that the ooze does have to be dealt with, otherwise you are potentially walking into your Edwin being cleared, which does slow down Flurry here. He can't just go Ancestral Guardian as the biggest play.
But really, I think Kin needed Wandmaker off the top into Consume Magic.
Well, technically, with the top deck of Twin Slice, he could have killed Edwin there on that turn. Probably wouldn't recommend it, because you're probably just giving them 2 Twin Slices and 2 second slices there, but,
yeah,
technically possible.
Yeah, I think between the secret played and also you want the Eldraki to actually get you enough healing, it's absolutely justified to hold on there, but Flurry with the Jandis off the top too.
Pretty good minions.
Oh my goodness.
So he has to heal for 7 here in order to not just die after he tanks the Edwin with the Eldraki.
And then he's dead on board, so I don't see it. No outs.
Man, Flurry's wins so far have just been absolutely handed to him. I mean, I think that game there, you know, he was obviously reaching for the 8-8 Edwin on turn 2, and I really like that he waited a turn. I think that was 100% the winning line. But, oh, man, I just feel bad for Kin. He's just getting absolutely dunked on.
Not over yet, though. It's still just down 1-2. And I keep saying it's the bomb warrior that I think that Flurry needs to be worried about getting a win with. I think it's perfectly realistic for Kin to still 2-0 this, especially with the ooze tech in his demon hunter. But I have to agree. I mean, every single time Flurry's won today, it's been in the blink of an eye.
Yeah, it's been very, very easily done indeed. The Bomb Warrior list that he is going for runs 1 Horde Pillager, so not extremely susceptible to weapon removal, but definitely not quite so robust against it as the double Horde Pillager version. But I suppose that comes with the benefit of a little bit of extra flexibility in the early game, because you're not going to be stuck with a hand full of Horde Pillagers instead. Given that it's the Rogue and the Demon Hunter left, and the Rogue going to be lined up first, I do still think this could just be a very even game here, first of all, with the Rogue versus the Warrior. The more I see good Rogue play, the more I think the Warrior really doesn't fall that far into the lead at all.
That is true, even though I keep saying I prefer weapon rogue. Good secret rogue play can sometimes overtake the quality of weapon rogue, especially since Flurry himself has an ooze in the bomb warrior. And when you are teching in weapon removal in your lineup, that could be a reason why you don't want to include weapon rogue, because your opponent could be doing the same thing.
Very true. Very scary moment for Kin, though. If he loses this single game of Hearthstone, he's going down to 1-4 in Division B, potentially to be met by Rivius later today if he loses his one series in the next match, actually, I believe. But he really doesn't want to be there. Then you are looking very likely to be relegated out of Grandmasters entirely, because he'd only have 2 more matches left to play.
Scary stuff all around for Kin. I like the hold. The curve says Hanar into questing coin 1 thief. Again, that's also susceptible to Bladestorm, but now he has... oh, sorry, it's not susceptible because you stick the 1-2. We don't even need to back.
Give me a quest.
Yeah, just a very nice clean curve. Lots of damage coming through at the start. He's got the secret ready to go with Hanar as well. This is a powerhouse of a hand.
And highly problematic for Flurry until this top deck. Hello? That's perfect.
That's completely illegal. No!
Huh? Wait,
No!
What are you doing?
Oh,
What are you
Flurry!
doing?
No!
What are you doing?
Oh, Flurry!
He's left the Hanar. Yeah, look at Kin's face. He's shocked. He's like, what? Why'd you leave me a Hanar? I don't know, Kin.
Why does this happen every time, Gia? I just can't believe it. Oh!
Very slow down. Sword and board the 1 thief.
Come on, when's he going to realize? I want the freeze frame of when he realizes what happened.
I think it's too late. He's already thinking about his next turn. And you know what? For his mental state, it's better if you don't realize it by this point.
Man, I think for my mental state, it would be better if I didn't realize these things.
Okay. Back in the real world, we gotta move on, Dara. Sticking the Hanar has made all the difference here for Kin. It means he still gets a full turn of good mana utilization. He has resources to buff up his questing. But in all likelihood, we gotta see the Hanar go away first. Derek, we're moving on. Hurry up.
Okay, moving on.
Cast.
Yeah, we got a cast. Okay, not a bad hand, though, at all here for Kin, because one of the things Hanar can often lend itself to is a hand that's just kind of passive. You have plenty of ways to spend your mana, but secrets traditionally have not been strong cards in Hearthstone because they don't win you a game. They just kind of plod along and maybe get some big value sometimes. But for Kin, he still has the Wrench Caliber for some counter pressure, and also the second questing here, which is a very, very big deal, to force Flurry to find removal. He just has to time it correctly. If he can get it going into turn 7, for example, with Blastmaster Boom available, this could be a powerful swing turn for Kin.
Indeed. The secrets, like you mentioned, tend to mess with more board-based matchups, and Weapon Warrior can, Bomb Warrior tends to go over the top, and maybe at the end you can try and get ice barriers, misdirections, etc. But in the mid game, it turned out with this exact combination of secrets from Kin, with the Repentance and the Ambush, that does slow down Flurry's game and just a little bit, because now Kin doesn't have to worry about removing a stuff on the other side. And start the counter-offensive.
Okay, we're going. Perfectly timed from Kin, as I was saying, with the Blastmaster boom. And the prep is all the incentive you need to go along with Pack Tactics, which is low-key an insane card to get here to go with Questing Adventurer.
It really is. And that's why Kin is not settling for some lackey plays. You go for a Secret Passage, even though it doesn't have that much mana to work with already. Barrowcat 1 Thief? That seems justified to me. I want the spell over the Reborn minion here.
Agreed. I agree.
Font?
Okay, so if you're thinking Blastmaster next turn, you can snipe off the 7/7 with Rolling Fireball.
Okay.
That's something, you know.
Yeah, that is very relevant. It's a good point. You didn't have an answer in the previous hand as it stood to the Blastmaster boom, so I'm on board. Okay. 2 bombs in Kin's deck currently. Flurry can get it up to the full 3 for the big Blastmaster boom board, but he's scared of the questing, he's scared of the secret.
What now?
It's a Brawl deviation. I like it.
Fingers crossed here for Flurry fans.
Oh! Uh-oh!
Oh, man. You know what, Gia? It's been 2 seasons of bad beats for Kin. He deserved this one, all right? Yeah. This is justice, not against Flurry. This is justice against the universe right here.
And also against Flurry. Flurry made a huge mistake at the beginning. That meant that Kin potentially had 3 or 4 extra secrets, whereas there wouldn't be if the Hanar were killed. So, I don't know, man. Flurry brought this upon himself.
What mistake, Gia? I've already moved on. I don't know what you're talking about here. Flurry making a misplay? Not in my GM, I tell you that.
You gotta understand how this works, Derek. I get to bring it up at my leisure, but whenever you go silent for 10 seconds, I have the right to tell you to move on.
Yeah, that's when it gets a little bit too real. I agree with that, actually. Deathwing obviously guaranteed to clear off, apart from if secret goes wrong, questing. But,
I think it's still guaranteed.
But it could have been freezing trap, right? Is that the difference?
Oh, right. I thought you meant particularly Pack Tactics.
No, sorry.
Against freezing, correct. Well, I think he's still swinging face, or you hold all together.
I think I'm okay with holding all together, right?
Yeah.
You're going to be swinging next turn with Blastmaster anyway, most likely.
I don't like the idea of swinging into a minion because you still leave the Reborn in play, so it's kind of like giving Kin more immediate damage.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, you're tanking less damage because you have to hit it now instead of tank the damage and then hit it next turn. If you want to set up for Blastmaster Bladestorm, or Blastmaster Whirlwind on the following turn,
right?
To activate your blue box. So I don't hate it, sorry.
Big deal for Kin to keep following up with the Jandice 2 premium results as well.
Yeah. But still, a very decent Blastmaster Boom Whirlwind here. You can clear off most of the board and start trying to threaten some counter damage for once here, Flurry.
1 bomb in Flurry's... 2 bombs in Flurry's deck, and then he draws one. That's why my deck tracker was being a little bit weird. Yeah.
Or sword and board, okay.
Yeah, depending on where the boom bots go, sometimes the sword and board clears up the Temple Enforcer after all is said and done. Or if you go for it first, you try and get yourself more damage to the face. So,
yeah, I like it a lot. Otherwise, he very possibly would have had to do it on his own Blastmaster at the end.
Ooh.
Oi, oi, oi.
Whoa. That was so much damage.
That was a lot of damage. Kin, however, in his own right.
Double force to the face. the first hit on the Temple Enforcer, just sniping it off as well.
Kin's hand, though, is no slouch either. He's homing in on that lethal. A bomb in the deck, Eviscerate in hand. It's definitely not quite there yet, and he's afraid of dying on the counter-lethal, of course. But it's coming together. It's anybody's game.
He absolutely needs to Rolling Fireball this boom. I'm just curious how the Shadow Step gets used, because you can re-roll for a better Reborn minion right now, or you can hold it for 1 extra damage with the Goblin Lackey next turn. And I think because you already have a way to lock up your mana, it does just end up getting saved for Goblin Lackey, but it's super scary. 3 bombs in Kin's deck.
Yeah, I agree. You can re-roll with the cat next turn and hope to hit Ancestral Guardian to go with the Goblin Lackey for 5 immediate heal, if that's necessary.
Oh, well, this is a clear with Bladestorm and Whirlwind if Flurry wants it. I have to imagine you're still going to shield block this turn.
Do you think he feels he can get away with the Kronks, though? That's a powerful play, right?
That's true. That's true.
I like it.
From his perspective, Kin's burst should be quite limited as well. 1 Eviscerate in hand, 1 in the deck. Yeah, I think so too.
I don't think it does much at all, obviously, but I don't think it's doing much at all later on in the game. It's going to be over in 1 or 2 turns either way.
There's like the cute play of Kronks then Whirlwind, so it can't be backstabbed into Eviscerate or something.
Okay, that is a thing. That is actually a thing.
Okay. Unless he's not going to Whirlwind at all. Okay.
You know what, Flurry? God damn it, I can't stay mad at you. That was such a cute play.
Yeah,
You've won me back.
It's super relevant here.
It is actually incredibly relevant here.
Yeah. Kin has to double Eviscerate this or he's dead. Where's the justice, Derek? Where's the justice?
I mean, this is his reparations, right? He's paid back his debt to society with this cool play.
Yeah. And if Kin does double Eviscerate this, what is Kin's win con? Passage into... Oh, there's no Hanar left either.
If he Shadow Steps his Goblin Lackey quickly enough, can he Shadow Step itself? He has to do it. It's the only play that keeps him alive, because he knows Galakron to be in hand.
It's true.
Oh, sorry. No. Unless he wants to go for the 1-bomb outer. That's the other line.
Oh, yeah.
That's what he's going for here.
Okay. Yeah. I do think the 1 in 14 is higher odds to win the game overall compared to just trying to double Evis the Kronks and draw a miracle.
He's going all in. He knows this is it, Gia. This is Kin's chance to not go down to 1 in 4. He needs the bomb 1 time here. And he concedes before we even get to see. I think we can only assume that means he ended his turn. And did he not even go for it?
For sure he was going for the bomb out, or I think the spectator was just lagging a bit.
Yeah.
But I wish we got to see, because you were building up all of that suspense. A valiant effort there.
Yeah, well, you know, I can still be amazing at my job. I'll accept that, Gia, even if Kin won't play ball. But, I mean, obviously, the only thing that he is thinking about here is, okay, another season where he's right down at the bottom of his division. Obviously, it was Division A last time, so he was a little bit safer. This time, it's Division B, and at 1-4, while he is not out of Grandmasters yet, it is looking extremely likely that he is going to be at least in the bottom half here. 7th and 8th, automatic relegation. 5th and 6th, potential relegation for him. And my heart goes out for him. You and I have said it many times. We believe Kin to be a very strong Hearthstone player, but just something isn't going right.
Yeah, I mean, in Kin's spot,